They were four. Always four. Esther, Gloria, Great, and Vivian. Anyone who saw them together in town knew the bond immediately. They walked side by side, arms linked, laughter bubbling from them like music. To their classmates, to their neighbors, they weren't just friends. They were sisters. They even called themselves that, the Four Sisters. And in a way it was true. They weren't bound by blood but by choice. By promises whispered under mango trees and secrets confessed in the dead of night. Esther was the obvious star of the group. Her father ran businesses in Lagos, her mother came from an influential family, and money never seemed to run out in their home. She dressed elegantly, always with neat hair and perfume that left a trail in the air. But Esther wasn't arrogant. That was what people loved about her. Her wealth was obvious, yet she never used it to look down on anyone. Gloria was different. Fierce. Bold. She was the one who spoke up in class when everyone else stayed quiet. She was quick to laugh, quick to argue, and quick to dream. She carried herself with a pride that sometimes made people mistake her for Esther's equal. Even though deep inside, Gloria hated the way poverty clipped her wings. Great was thoughtful. A quiet, steady presence. She often listened more than she spoke, watching the world with deep, serious eyes. She came from a struggling family. Her younger siblings depended on her, and sometimes she looked older than her age, like the weight of responsibility had stolen her youth. And then there was Vivian. Sweet, calm, endlessly patient. She was the peacekeeper, the one who stood between Gloria's fire and Esther's calm when their energies clashed. Vivian's smile could melt tension in seconds. Without her, the group would have argued more, maybe even broken apart sooner. Together, the four of them were like different threads woven into the same fabric. Beautiful. Strong. Whole. On campus, people knew them instantly. When they walked into lecture halls late or early, eyes followed. When they sat together in the cafeteria, it was hard not to notice the way their laughter filled the room. "The Four Sisters have arrived," boys would whisper. Sometimes they teased Esther about her shiny iPhone, or the way she always had a driver waiting after class. "Esther, I beg carry us inside that your big car one day." Gloria would joke loudly, making the others laugh. And Esther, ever generous, would wave her hand. "Gloria, you know you can enter any time. What are you saying?" Vivian loved moments like this. They felt like forever. She thought nothing, no money, no boy, no secret, could ever separate them. But she was wrong. One thing the Four Sisters were known for was their late-night talks. They would gather in one hostel room, all four squeezed onto one bed, with Chin-Chin or Suya in their laps, whispering until dawn. On one of those nights, Gloria suddenly asked, "If one of us becomes rich first, will she forget the others?" Esther laughed softly. "Gloria, what kind of question is that? If I blow first, we're all blowing together." "Not true." Great asked, raising a brow though she was smiling. "Yes, nah. You people are my sisters," Esther said firmly. "What is mine is yours." Vivian clapped her hands in delight. "Good. Because I can already see Esther buying us matching cars." They all burst out laughing. But that night, after the laughter faded, Gloria stared at the ceiling a little longer than the rest. Even before money became an issue, small cracks sometimes showed. Like the way Gloria's tone sharpened when Esther treated them at restaurants. "You don't always have to pay, you know," she'd snap, though she never stopped Esther from paying. Or the way Great sometimes sighed after borrowing Esther's perfume, whispering, "One day, I'll buy this for myself." Vivian noticed those small moments. The glances. The pauses. The envy that slipped in just for a second, before the smiles returned. She told herself it was normal. Friends had ups and downs. Sisters quarreled then made up. Nothing serious. But the shadows were growing, even if no one wanted to admit it. Still, for a long while, their friendship was everything. They celebrated birthdays together, surprising one another with cakes, balloons, and laughter that echoed through the night. They shared clothes shamelessly. Vivian would borrow Esther's heels, Gloria would steal Esther's handbags, Great would wear Esther's necklaces. And Esther, kind, generous Esther, always laughed and said, "You people, one day you'll finish my wardrobe." And they would all reply together, "We are sisters. There is no yours or mine." At least that's what they believed. The shift began quietly. It wasn't betrayal at first. It wasn't anger. It was just need. Gloria was the first. One afternoon, under the mango tree in Esther's compound, she leaned back and sighed heavily. Her laughter, usually sharp and bold, had lost its fire. "Esther," she murmured, "I don't even know how to say this. Things are tough at home. My dad lost his job. We don't even have enough to pay rent this month." Esther didn't hesitate. She reached into her bag, pulled out her phone, and transferred the money without even asking how much. "Gloria, please don't stress. You know I've got you." Gloria's eyes watered. She hugged Esther tightly. "Thank you. I swear I'll pay you back soon." But in that moment, something tiny shifted inside her heart. Gratitude, yes, but also shame. And shame, when it sits too long, can turn into something else. Not long after, Great faced her own storm. Her younger brother was sent home from school. No fees, no classes. She tried everything, begging her uncle, hustling on the side, but nothing worked. Finally, with trembling hands, she turned to Esther. "Please," she whispered. "I don't want to ask, but I have no choice." Esther once again didn't hesitate. "Great, don't be shy. You're my sister. You know I'll help." Great exhaled, relief flooding her. She promised repayment, but deep inside she wondered. When? How? The debt settled on her like a stone. Then came Vivian. She was the last person Esther expected to ask, because Vivian always acted like everything was fine. She hid her struggles behind her calm smile. But when her mother's small shop burned down in a fire, leaving the family with nothing, she couldn't hide anymore. Her voice shook when she came to Esther. "My mother is broken, Esther. She doesn't even know how to start again. Please, if you could just help us reopen." Esther didn't let her finish. "Vivian, stop crying. We'll fix it. I'll send you something." Vivian covered her face, tears streaming. "God bless you. You don't know what this means." And once again Esther gave. First, nothing changed. They still laughed, still gossiped, still walked arm in arm. But beneath the laughter, invisible cracks formed. Whenever Esther paid for food, Gloria felt the sting. Whenever Esther bought a new dress, Great looked away. Whenever Esther offered to cover transport, Vivian's chest tightened. It wasn't Esther's fault. She never flaunted her wealth, never mocked them. But money has a way of twisting even the purest love. One evening at the cafe, Esther casually asked Gloria, "Any progress with the money?" Her tone was gentle, harmless. But Gloria stiffened. "Why do you keep asking? Don't you trust me?" Esther blinked. "Of course I do. I was just wondering." "Well, stop wondering," Gloria snapped, slamming her cup down. "You think I don't feel ashamed enough already?" The table went silent. Vivian forced a weak smile. Great stared at her hands. Esther's face fell. "Gloria, I didn't mean it like that." But the mood was broken. That night, when the girls went their separate ways, Vivian felt something heavy in the air. The bond wasn't the same anymore. In the weeks that followed, Esther asked less often. She didn't want to upset them. She tried to act normal to keep things light. But in the quiet corners of their minds, the others were changing. Gloria, fiery as always, muttered under her breath. "She thinks I'm begging her. She thinks I'm nothing without her money." Great sighed every time she saw Esther's new shoes. "She will never understand what it's like to count coins for food." Even Vivian, gentle Vivian, felt the weight of guilt pressing down. Every time Esther smiled at her, she thought, "If only you knew what I owe you. If only you knew how trapped I feel." And yet, none of them said these words aloud. Because silence too can poison. On campus, whispers began. People noticed the tension, even if the four sisters tried to hide it. "Why does Esther always pay?" some asked. "Are the others just using her?" others replied. Gloria hated those whispers most of all. She began avoiding going out in public with Esther's driver. She felt like everyone saw her as a charity case. Vivian tried to smooth things over with jokes, hugs, and laughter. But even she could sense it. The world was beginning to see the cracks. And when people see cracks, sometimes they push harder just to see if the glass will break. The breaking point came slowly. Another afternoon, another casual moment. Esther asked, not sharply, not harshly, but simply, if Gloria had any plan for repayment. That was it. Gloria's voice rose. Her words cut. And for the first time, strangers turned to watch them argue. Esther, embarrassed, fell silent. And Gloria, though she won the argument, felt something darker swelling inside her. The argument at the cafe didn't end that day. It followed them. In the lecture hall, Gloria sat 2 seats away from Esther, pretending to be busy with her phone. At lunch, she laughed too loudly at someone else's joke, ignoring Esther's quiet smile. Vivian noticed it all. She tried to pull them close again, but it was like holding sand in her hands. No matter how tightly she tried to keep them together, something kept slipping away. One evening, they gathered at Esther's house to study for exams. The table was covered in notebooks, snacks, and empty bottles of malt. Esther, ever generous, had ordered food for everyone. Fried rice, chicken, suya. The smell filled the room. Gloria eyed the plates and muttered, "You always want to show us you can buy everything." Esther froze, a piece of chicken halfway to her mouth. "Gloria, please. I only bought it so we can eat together. We always do this." Great looked up from her notes, her voice low. "Gloria, let it go. We're here to study." Vivian tried to laugh. "I beg, food is food. Let's eat before the rice gets cold." The tension broke for the moment, but Esther's smile was thinner than usual. And inside Gloria's chest a fire burned. Days turned into weeks. Exams came and went. Life moved on, but the friendship didn't feel the same. Gloria and Great began walking home together more often, leaving Vivian and Esther behind. Their voices grew lower, their words sharper. One evening, as the sun painted the sky orange, Gloria kicked at a stone on the ground. "I'm tired of her," she spat. "Every time she looks at me, I see it in her eyes. She thinks she owns us." Great sighed. "She helped us. She didn't force us." "Helped?" Gloria laughed bitterly. "She gave us money so she can keep reminding us we're beneath her. Don't you see? We're trapped. As long as she's here, we'll never be free." Great didn't reply. But she didn't disagree either. It was on a humid Friday night when things snapped. The 4 sisters were sitting in the hostel common room, playing cards. Laughter came in bursts, but it felt forced. Then Esther, without thinking, turned to Gloria and said softly, "I know you've been stressed. I just wanted to ask again. Do you have any plan for the money?" The room went dead silent. Gloria's card slipped from her hands. "Why do you keep asking me?" she shouted. "Every time you open your mouth, it's money, money, money. Do you think I'm a thief? Do you think I want to owe you?" Vivian's eyes widened. Great stared down at the table, pretending not to exist. Esther's voice broke. "Gloria, I didn't mean it like that. You're my sister. I only asked because you enjoy seeing me beg." Gloria snapped, her chest heaving. "You enjoy reminding us who's rich and who's not. Let me tell you something, Esther. You're not better than us. You're only lucky. That's all." The words hung in the air like smoke. Esther sat frozen, pain written across her face. She didn't reply. She couldn't. The game ended. The night ended. Something ended. The next evening, Gloria and Great walked home together again. Their steps were slow. Their voices were hushed. "She'll never let us go," Gloria muttered. "Even if we pay her back, she'll keep looking at us like we're beneath her." Great's voice was softer. "Maybe we just need more time. She might stop bringing it up." Gloria stopped walking. She turned, her eyes fierce. "No, you don't understand. As long as Esther is alive, we'll never be free. If she wasn't here, everything would end." Great froze. "Gloria, what are you saying?" Gloria leaned closer. Her voice was sharp, dangerous. "I'm saying exactly what you think. Esther is gone, so is our debt. So is our shame." The street was quiet. The air thick. Great swallowed, her face pale. She didn't answer. She didn't walk away either. And just behind them, hidden in the shadows, someone listened. Vivian. Her body trembled. Her breath caught in her throat. She had heard every word. That night, Vivian couldn't sleep. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, the sound of Gloria's voice echoing in her ears. "If Esther is gone." Her chest tightened. Sweat gathered on her forehead. She wanted to run to Esther to confess everything. But another thought slashed through her mind. If Gloria finds out I told her, what if they come for me too? Her phone buzzed. A message from Esther. "Good night, sis. I love you." Vivian's eyes blurred with tears. Her heart screamed, "Tell her. Tell her now." But her lips whispered into the darkness. "I'm sorry." Vivian carried the secret like a stone in her chest. Every time she saw Esther's smile, the guilt grew heavier. Every time she sat beside Gloria and grate, her skin crawled. She wanted to scream, to confess, to beg Esther to run. But the fear was stronger. "If they find out I told her," she whispered to herself, staring at her reflection in the hostile mirror, "they'll kill me too." Her own voice sounded strange, like it belonged to someone else. The next day Gloria seemed different, sharper. In class she leaned closer to Vivian, her eyes searching. "You've been quiet," she said softly, almost too softly. Vivian forced a smile. "I'm just tired. Exams wore me out." Gloria's eyes narrowed. For a moment Vivian thought she knew. Thought she could see straight into her heart. But then Gloria laughed. You better rest well. You know we need you strong, Abi." Her tone was playful, but Vivian's stomach twisted. The words didn't feel playful at all. Meanwhile, Esther carried on as if nothing was wrong. She still invited them for lunch. Still cracked small jokes. Still sent long messages in their group chat every morning. "Good morning, my sisters. Don't forget we promised to revise together today. Love you all." Vivian read the messages with shaking hands. She doesn't know, she thought. She doesn't know they're planning to. Her throat tightened. She dropped the phone on her bed and buried her face in her pillow. She wanted to tell Esther everything. But each time Gloria's voice rang in her ears. "If Esther is gone, so is our shame." That weekend the four sisters sat outside, eating roasted corn and laughing. At least Esther and Vivian were laughing. Gloria wasn't. She leaned back, her eyes on Vivian. "You're too quiet these days, Viv. You don't talk like before." Vivian's chest tightened. She forced a shaky laugh. "I'm fine. Just thinking." "Thinking about what?" Gloria pressed. Esther, oblivious, jumped in. "Leave her, Gloria. You know Vivian likes to daydream." But Gloria didn't smile. She kept staring. And in that stare, Vivian felt a warning. That night, Gloria caught Vivian alone. They were walking back to the hostel, the road dimly lit, the sound of crickets filling the air. Suddenly Gloria stopped. "Vivian," she said, her voice low, dangerous. "You didn't tell Esther anything, did you?" Vivian's heart slammed against her ribs. Her mouth went dry. She forced her lips to move. "No. Why would I?" Gloria stepped closer. Too close. Her eyes glimmered in the darkness. "Good. Because if you did, you know what would happen." Vivian's knees nearly gave out. She nodded quickly. "I didn't say anything. I swear." Gloria studied her face for a long moment, then smiled. A slow, unsettling smile. "I trust you, Vivian. You're my sister." But as they walked back together, Vivian knew. It wasn't trust that kept her safe. It was fear. Later that night, Esther sent her a private message. "Vivian, are you okay? You've been different. If something is wrong, you can tell me. I'll always be here for you." Vivian stared at the screen, tears stinging her eyes. Her thumbs hovered over the keyboard. She typed, "Esther, I need to tell you something. It's important." Then she froze. Deleted it. Typed again. "I'm fine. Just tired. Don't worry." She hit send. And in that moment she chose silence. Vivian curled into her blanket that night, whispering to herself, "Forgive me, Esther. Please forgive me." But she knew deep down forgiveness wouldn't matter. Because the trap was already closing. And soon silence would cost more than words ever could. Esther was still Esther. Every morning she woke early, ironed her clothes until there wasn't a wrinkle in sight, and walked into class with a smile that seemed to brighten the room. "Good morning, my sisters," she'd say, dropping into her seat beside them. She still bought them snacks without asking. Still offered rides home after lectures. Still cracked silly jokes that made even the most serious lecturer pause and smile. She was light. Pure light. And that was the cruelest part. Because the darker Gloria and Great grew inside, the more Esther's kindness felt like a knife twisting. Gloria couldn't hide her anger anymore. Her laughter came sharper. Her words cut deeper. And whenever Esther spoke, she rolled her eyes, as if every syllable was an insult. One evening as they walked across campus, Gloria snapped, Do you ever get tired of acting perfect? Always smiling, always giving. It's annoying. Esther stopped, shocked. Gloria, what did I do? You exist, Gloria muttered. Then louder. You exist with money and power while the rest of us are crawling. That's what you did. The group went silent. Vivian's stomach twisted. Great stayed quiet, staring at the ground. Esther whispered. Gloria, I love you. Don't say that. But Gloria only laughed bitterly. Great was different. She wasn't as fiery as Gloria, but her silence was dangerous. At night, when Gloria ranted about Esther, Great didn't argue. She just listened, her eyes distant, her hands clenched. Her family's struggles weighed on her shoulders. Her younger siblings begged for money she didn't have. And every time she saw Esther's perfume, her new shoes, her sparkling phone, resentment grew like a weed. One night, Gloria leaned close and whispered, We both know what must happen. Great didn't reply. But she didn't walk away either. Vivian lived between two worlds. By day, she laughed with Esther, pretending everything was fine. By night, she sat in bed trembling, hearing Gloria's voice in her head. If Esther is gone, so is our shame. She avoided being alone with Gloria, avoided looking too long at Great. But somehow they always found her. One afternoon, Gloria cornered her by the campus gate. Vivian, you're quiet again, she said, her voice calm, too calm. I hope you're not planning to betray us. Vivian forced a laugh. Of course not. We're sisters, remember? Gloria's smile was sharp. Good. Because you know betrayal is worse than debt. Vivian nodded quickly, her heart racing. And that night, when Esther called to check on her, she lied again. I'm fine, Esther. Everything is fine. But nothing was fine. It started with whispers. Gloria and Great meeting behind the hostel, their heads bent close. Vivian passing by, hearing fragments. Quiet place. Nobody will know. Quick and clean. Her stomach turned. She ran before they could see her. At night, she covered her ears with her pillow. But the whispers wouldn't stop. If Esther is gone. No more debts. Freedom at last. Vivian's dreams became nightmares. She saw Esther's face pale, lifeless, her smile gone. She woke up screaming, sweat dripping down her body. Her roommates asked if she was sick. She only shook her head. I'm fine, she whispered again. Always that lie. The cruelest blow came one Saturday evening. Esther invited them all to her house for a sleepover. She decorated her room with fairy lights, played soft music, and laid out snacks like old times. It's been long since we did this, Esther said, her eyes shining. No matter what happens, I'll always love you three. You're my sisters. Vivian nearly broke. Tears burned her eyes. Gloria smirked, hiding her true thoughts. Great ate quietly, her face unreadable. Vivian wanted to scream. Run, Esther. Don't trust them. But all she did was smile. And keep the secret. After Esther fell asleep that night, Vivian woke to whispers. Gloria and Great sat at the edge of the bed, their voices low. We'll do it soon, Gloria said. I can't wait anymore. Where? Great asked. Gloria's lips curved. Somewhere quiet. Somewhere nobody will look. She won't even see it coming. Vivian's blood turned to ice. She lay frozen, eyes shut tight, praying they wouldn't notice she was awake. When silence returned, she opened her eyes slowly. Esther was still sleeping peacefully, her face soft under the fairy lights. Vivian bit her lip until it bled. Forgive me, Esther, she whispered silently. I can't save you. I'm too weak. The plan was no longer just whispers. It was alive, breathing, taking shape. And Esther, she had no idea. Esther noticed little things first. How Gloria avoided her eyes when she spoke. How Great, once gentle, now walked with her jaw clenched. How Vivian laughed less, her smile fading faster than before. One afternoon after class, Esther turned to them with a frown. Are you people hiding something from me? Gloria's laugh came sharp, too sharp. Why would you say that? Not everything is about you, Esther. Great muttered. We're just tired, that's all. Vivian forced her voice to sound calm. Esther, stop worrying. We're fine. But Esther wasn't convinced. Her sisters felt distant. And though she didn't know why, a small knot of fear began to grow in her chest. At night, Gloria and Great whispered in corners of the hostel. slipping away when Esther wasn't around. Vivian followed once. Quiet steps. Heart racing. She heard them talking behind the cafeteria. Their voices hushed. Next weekend, Gloria said. At the old quarry. Nobody goes there anymore. Great nodded slowly. How will we do it? Gloria's voice was steady. Too steady. Quick. Clean. Nobody will suspect us. Vivian covered her mouth with her hand, forcing back a gasp. Her whole body shook. She wanted to run to Esther that moment, to beg her not to go anywhere near them, but she didn't. Instead, she ran back to her room, locked the door, and cried silently until dawn. The next morning, Esther showed up with breakfast. Meat pies and chilled malt for everyone. I thought you'd be hungry, she said, smiling. Gloria took hers without thanks. Great only nodded. Vivian stared at the food, her throat tight. How could Esther still love them so much? How could she still care when her own sisters plotted against her? Esther noticed Vivian's silence. Vivian, are you sure you're okay? You look pale. Vivian forced a laugh. I'm fine. Just didn't sleep well. Inside, her heart screamed. No, I'm not fine. They're planning to kill you. But her lips stayed sealed. Vivian started seeing signs everywhere. A sharp glance from Gloria felt like a warning. Great silence felt like consent to murder. Even Esther's laughter felt doomed, as if every happy moment was a countdown to the end. At night, she dreamed of the quarry. She saw Esther standing on the edge, smiling, calling out, Vivian, come with me. And then darkness. Vivian woke up screaming. Her roommates begged her to see the nurse. She shook her head. It's just stress, she whispered. But she knew it wasn't stress. It was prophecy. The next Friday, Gloria brought it up casually, as if suggesting a picnic. Let's go somewhere quiet tomorrow. Just us. Like old times. Esther smiled instantly. Yes. We haven't done that in ages. Where? Gloria's lips curved. The old quarry. It's peaceful there. Vivian's blood ran cold. She almost shouted. No. But the word stuck in her throat. She glanced at Gloria's sharp eyes, at Great's tense expression. If she spoke, they would know. They would suspect her. And then maybe she would be the one at the bottom of the quarry. So she smiled weakly and whispered, That sounds nice. Esther clapped her hands. Good. It'll be like our childhood adventures. Just the four of us. Vivian's heart broke. Vivian couldn't breathe that night. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling, hearing Esther's voice in her head. You're my sisters. I love you. She wanted to run to Esther's house, to shake her awake and beg her not to go. But fear held her down. Instead, she sent a single message. Good night, Esther. Sleep well. And Esther replied, Good night, sis. Tomorrow will be fun. Vivian dropped her phone, tears soaking her pillow. Because she knew tomorrow would not be fun. Tomorrow might be the end. The sun rose slow that Saturday, painting the sky in soft orange. To Esther, it felt like the perfect day. She woke early, humming to herself as she packed a small bag. Drinks, snacks, a scarf in case it got windy. She even added a deck of cards. Just like old times, she whispered with a smile. When they met at the campus gate, Esther's face was glowing. She wore a bright yellow dress that swayed with each step. See my sisters, she cheered, spreading her arms wide. Today is for us alone. No stress, no lectures, just laughter. Gloria smirked. Great nodded quietly. Vivian forced a smile, though her stomach churned. The way Gloria's eyes flickered when Esther wasn't looking, it made Vivian's blood run cold. But Esther didn't notice. She was too excited. They boarded a taxi, squeezed together in the back seat. The driver turned on old highlife music, and Esther sang along, clapping her hands. Gloria leaned back, arms folded. Great stared out the window. Vivian sat stiff, her fingers digging into her lap. At one point, Esther nudged her. Vivian, why so serious? Today is for fun, no? Vivian's throat tightened. She wanted to scream because they want to kill you. Instead, she laughed weakly. I'm just tired. I'll be fine when we get there. Gloria's lips curved slightly as though amused. Vivian looked away, hiding the tremor in her eyes. The taxi dropped them near a dusty path. The quarry was a short walk away, hidden behind thick bushes and abandoned roads. Esther stretched her arms. Ah, fresh air. This is perfect. She skipped a few steps ahead, her laughter echoing. Vivian dragged her feet, her chest heavy. The air smelled different to her. Not fresh but heavy, dangerous. She glanced at Gloria and Great. They walked slower, their eyes on Esther's back. Vivian's breath caught. For a moment, she thought she saw something dark in Gloria's hand. But when she blinked, it was gone. Her pulse hammered. Halfway down the path, Esther paused. She turned suddenly, her eyes scanning their faces. Wait, why are you three so quiet? She asked, frowning slightly. We always joke on trips like this. What's wrong? Gloria's voice was smooth. Nothing. We're just enjoying the peace. Great nodded. Yes. It's just been long since we walked like this. Esther tilted her head. Strange. I feel like you're hiding something. Vivian's heart skipped. She prayed Esther would press harder, would see through the silence. But Esther only laughed. Well, if it's a surprise for me, I'll wait. Her smile returned. But Vivian saw it, the flicker of doubt in Esther's eyes. As they reached the quarry, Vivian's legs felt like lead. The wide pit stretched before them, silent, abandoned, its rocky edges sharp against the sky. The air was still, almost too still. Esther gasped. Wow, it's so quiet here. You can hear your own heartbeat. Gloria's lips curved into a smile. Exactly. Vivian froze. The word sliced through her. Exactly. Her hands trembled. She took a step back, her chest heaving. I can't do this, she whispered to herself. I can't stay silent anymore. But when Esther turned, her eyes shining with excitement, and asked, Vivian, will you take a picture of us here? Vivian's mouth locked again. The lie sat heavy on her tongue. Yes, of course, she said softly, lifting the phone with shaking hands. And the trap tightened. The quarry was silent. Too silent. The only sounds were the wind brushing against the rocks and the soft crunch of gravel under their feet. Esther stood near the edge, gazing at the deep pit below, her yellow dress glowing in the afternoon light. She smiled, breathing in the stillness. It's beautiful here, she said softly. So peaceful. But behind her, Gloria and Great exchanged a glance. And Vivian felt her heart break. First, they laughed together just like old times. Esther insisted they take photos, running back and forth with childish excitement. Vivian, get closer. Gloria, don't frown. Great, smile for once, she teased, giggling. Vivian took the pictures with trembling hands. She wanted to freeze time, to trap Esther in those moments forever, safe and smiling. But the laughter felt wrong. Forced. Hollow. And every time Gloria bent to pick a stone, every time Great's eyes flickered to the pit, Vivian's stomach twisted tighter. At one point, Esther frowned. She looked from Gloria to Great, then back to Vivian. Why are you three acting strange? Since we came here, I've been the only one talking. It feels weird. Vivian's lips parted. The truth burned her tongue. But before she could speak, Gloria slipped an arm around Esther's shoulders, laughing. We're just enjoying your excitement, Esther. That's all. Esther chuckled, though uncertainty lingered in her eyes. You people are behaving like you're hiding a prank from me. Vivian swallowed hard. If only she knew. The sun slid lower, shadows deepening across the quarry. Gloria picked up a large stone, tossing it casually from hand to hand. Esther, she said suddenly, her voice calm but sharp. Do you ever think about how different we really are? Esther blinked. Different? How do you mean? Gloria's smile didn't reach her eyes. You rich, perfect, always smiling. Us struggling, crawling, begging you. Doesn't it ever feel unfair? Esther's face fell. Gloria, I never made you beg. I only wanted to help. We're sisters. Sisters. Gloria snapped, her voice rising. Sisters don't remind each other of debts. Sisters don't watch while the others drown. Great shifted uncomfortably but didn't stop her. Vivian's chest tightened. The moment was here. Gloria stepped closer to Esther, her voice low and venomous. Do you know what freedom would feel like, Esther? Freedom from you. From your money. From your pity. Esther stepped back instinctively, closer to the edge of the pit. Her eyes widened. Gloria, what are you saying? The stone in Gloria's hand gleamed in the fading light. Vivian's vision blurred. Her ears roared. This was it. The moment she feared. Her body shook. Her lips trembled. Say something, her mind screamed. Stop this before it's too late. Esther's voice cracked. Gloria, please. We're sisters. Don't do this. Gloria raised the stone higher. And finally Vivian broke. Stop, she screamed, her voice echoing across the quarry. Everyone froze. Gloria turned sharply. What did you say? Tears streamed down Vivian's face. Don't touch her. Please. I know everything. I've heard your whispers. I stayed silent because I was afraid, but not anymore. If you hurt her, you'll have to hurt me too. The quarry fell silent again. Even the wind seemed to stop. For a long, tense moment, nobody moved. Then Great stepped back, her face pale. The stone slipped from Gloria's hand, hitting the gravel with a dull thud. Esther's chest heaved. Confusion and betrayal shone in her eyes. Gloria. Great, is this true? Neither answered. Vivian ran to Esther, clutching her tightly. I'm sorry. I should have told you sooner. I was afraid. Please forgive me. Esther's arms wrapped weakly around her, still trembling. And Gloria? She only stared at them, her face unreadable, her eyes burning with something darker than anger. That night, as they walked back in silence, Esther clung to Vivian's hand. But Gloria's voice rang softly behind them. This isn't over. The words crawled into Vivian's bones, cold and heavy. She had spoken the truth. She had saved Esther. But she knew one thing for certain. In breaking her silence, she had made herself the new target.